Hello viewers, in this video we'll be solving this exciting problem. Find the domain of 3 over absolute value of x minus x. So to find the domain of this function, we need the values of what? Of x, such that this expression will make sense, right? In other words, we want to have a real number. We don't want to have we will try to avoid having 0 in the denominator. So in other words, I can say the domain will simply be what? Any x in R, such that what? Absolute value of x minus x is not equals to what? 0. We want to avoid this one. Okay, we don't want to avoid having 0 in the denominator. But if you look at this, since we have an absolute value, what do we know about absolute value? We know that absolute value of x is equals to what? Is equals to x. We can write it this way: when x is greater than what? 0. And we can say it's equals to 0, or we can just combine these two. It's fine. So that we can say it's x when x is what? Non-negative. And it is minus x if x is what? Less than 0. We know this. Now, if x is what? Let's say if x is greater than what? Than 0. What do you think will be absolute value of x minus x? If x is greater than 0, this will be plus here. So absolute value of x will be what? Will become x, and you have x minus what? X, which is equals to what? 0. So what does that mean? It means you will try to avoid having x to be greater than what? 0, because if x is greater than 0, it means in the denominator we are going to have what? 0. Now, what is the next one? If x is equals to what? 0. If x is equals to 0, what do we have? Absolute value of x minus x is nothing but what? 0, because you have absolute value of 0 minus what? 0, which will give us what? 0. Is that okay? So what is left is what? If x is less than 0. If x is less than 0, we're going to see that absolute value of x minus what? X, this is minus. So this will become what? The minus will come down before to remove the absolute value. So this will become minus x minus what? X, which is equals to what? Minus what? 2x. So what does that mean? It means that if we want to avoid having 0 in the denominator, we only need to take the x that is what? That are less than what? 0. So for any x less than 0, we are sure that we are not going to have what? 0 in the what? In the denominator. But if you take any x greater than 0, the denominator is going to be 0. If you take x equals to 0, as you can see, we're also going to have 0. We're going to have 0 for x greater than 0. But for x less than 0, we're going to have minus 2x. We don't want this one. We don't want this, but this is okay. So it means our domain, it's simply what? Minus what? Infinity to what? To 0, which is x less than 0. I hope this video is clear. Thank you for watching.